everyone. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to Sin City Crypto Live. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts. And today, like every single day, coming at you live from our beautiful studio here in Make Up Our Mind, whether it's pool season or hibernating season here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We have an exciting show today. We're talking about the SEC going after another exchange. We have some Bitcoin on-chain metrics to share with you. We have some NFT news. We have this news, that news, tons of other news. My mic is off. Hello, hello. Can anyone hear me? Am I muted? Good. Hello, hello. Let me know. My mic volume is not Rocco. We need to end. Oh, guess mic. Got it. Can you guys hear me? Let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Should have figured out the mic. We can hear you barely. Okay. Praying for life here. Yeah, we're talking about that here in a second. You guys should be able to hear me. Sounds like you're talking from across the room. Good? Okay. All right. We can hear you through the other mic. Got it. All right, guys. Give us 2 seconds. We're going to get this thing figured out here. Better. I can hear you. Let me know if this sounds good. Fixed. Beautiful. Thank you guys so much. You guys already know my intro, so I'm not going to do it again. But welcome. You might be wondering, well, where is Rob? Rob, my friend, wasn't feeling good. He had to go to the urgent care this morning, but he did not want to miss the show, and so he is joining us via video call. Robin! How you doing, my friend? And now Robin's muted.
Oh, yeah, shoot. Sorry, that's me.
That's
on my end.
How you feeling,
What's going
man?
on,
You
guys?
feeling all right, bro? I'm sorry you don't feel good. You know, I'm showing some empathy.
I got a box of tissues and yeah, cold. So
you know, I try to compel Robin just to take the day off, but he did not want to leave you guys. He did not want to leave me. He said he loves me 3 times. I have proof on the blockchain. Guys, real quick, before we get into any of the content, I want to give our sympathy and condolences to Crypto Lifer. He's one of not just a friend of the channel, but our personal friend. And he tweeted yesterday that his father passed away from a massive heart attack. You know, it just sucks. And we just want Lifer and Lifer's community to know that if you guys need anything that we can help with, whatever the case may be, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're all in this thing together. Lifer's a good dude. And it sucks, man. I've been there. I know Rocco's lost some people in his family. I know Robin has as well. And so, you know, nothing in life is guaranteed. And so just always keep that in mind. If someone's pissing you off or if you haven't talked to a friend in a while, life's too short to hold grudges. And so, Lifer, we love you, my friend. We're here for you, whatever you need, buddy. All right. Rob, are you in the mood for some Olas or what? You going to do your intro?
Yeah, so first of all, if you're new here, say hello. So we can jump an hola back at you. I do have a few new people, and this isn't our normal setup. Normally I'm in the studio, but just a little shout out here. We do have Jeltsin here, Crypto Trends, as well as Hoosier McCrypto, and then also Eric Grill, Andre Brown, and to all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
That's a really that hola just don't sound right, bro. Don't sound right. We need to clear up those sinuses, my dude. All right.
Hey, man.
While we have Rob here, I know he's got to step away for a quick second and pick up some meds. But while we have Rob here, Rob, I want to, I'm not a big fashion guy. I don't think you are either. I feel like Rocco for sure is. He's from Italy. I want your honest opinion on this fashion trend here. Let me know what you think. So this is James Harden. He's a basketball superstar. Yes. Before we get into anything, I'm going to give a massive shout out to our channel sponsor, Cam's Blue Wire Tech. Now, Cam's Blue Wire Tech provides your business with scalable IT solutions so you can focus on new revenue streams for your business. If you want more information, check out the link in the description. Big shout out to our first ever channel sponsor. We're super excited. Now that we gave some recognition to our amazing sponsor, I would like to talk about this video we have here. So, James Harden basketball superstar, Philadelphia 76ers. And so, Rocco, cue the laptop. So, what Rob, what are your thoughts here, man? Is this, being the fashion icon that you are, is this something that you would wear, or how much would someone have to pay you for you to wear this?
I used to wear those big baggy jeans back in middle school. I think they were called Jinkos. And Jinkos, like JNYCO. It's like these overly baggy jeans. And that's in the past though. But yeah, that hoodie though, I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, this
who is that jean jacket on jean jacket? Is that
that's jeans on jeans on jeans?
Oh, that's also known as a Canadian tuxedo as well. There you go.
A what? Who said that?
A Canadian tuxedo.
Is that what it's actually called?
Whatever it is.
Yeah, jean jacket and jeans.
It shouldn't be allowed to walk over.
Well, we don't want to get into Canada because there's not a lot of good going on there. Speaking of not a lot of good going on, Rob, did you see this? 3 more regional banks, their stocks had to be halted. So this is tweeted from the Coinbase letter. I would highly recommend you guys follow this. Some good stuff on there. They formatted it in a way where it's very easy on the eyes. It's not just a long thing of text. Just in regional bank stocks are plunging, with multiple stocks down 20% in a matter of minutes. Now, we might be used to 20% in a matter of minutes or an hour here in the crypto space, but it's not practical. It's not something you see every day, even every year, or even in a decade. In the traditional stock market, PacWest Bancorp was down 30% before the stock was halted. Western Alliance Bank down 25% and the stock was halted. Metropolitan Bank, which, that sounds familiar, that was the bank that was custodying people's fiat for Voyager. They do that for other exchanges as well. They were down 24% and the stocks halted. And just to kind of see, this is PacWest Bank. You see this massive spill off from $12 all the way down to $6 before it was halted. This is the Western Alliance Bank, same thing. Stock was halted. Metropolitan Bank, it didn't bleed off as much as it did back in the second week of March, but still, that was halted as well. Now, JP Morgan Chase came out yesterday. There was announced that they purchased First Republic Bank, and Jamie Dimon even came out and said, hey, this banking thing, it's not going to get worse. Robin, we now know he's lying. Well, maybe not lying on purpose, but maybe he's misinformed, which is hard for me to believe, seeing as he is the CEO of one of the world's largest banks. You agree that this thing is definitely not over, right? How worse do you think it can get, and what are your thoughts?
I don't know if it's definitely not over. I'm assuming it's not. I think the likelihood is that we'll have this contagion spill over. There'll be other banks that'll go under. But, I mean, honestly, who's to say this isn't the end? I mean, the banks and here's the one thing. The general public probably feels at ease that the Fed or the Treasury Department or the U.S. government will print their way into infinity and protect all depositors. I mean, here's my question to you, David. Do you think that if any of those 3 banks that were listed there, if they were to go under, do you think anybody would lose money that was a depositor?
That's a good question.
The Treasury Secretary, the Fed, the government, if all of a sudden CNN was circulating the news and the narrative was there are 20% uninsured depositors here, or, people that have over the FDIC insured minimum, I'm pretty sure that they would step up and fill the gap in the same way that they did already once before.
Well, not only that,
if that's the case, so if that's the idea, which I adamantly believe that if that narrative were to pop up again and people were scared of losing money, the government's going to come in and be like, hey, it's okay. Don't freak out. So what does this really translate to? is the fact that nobody's going to really be itching to do a bank run. Nobody's going to be screaming, go get your money out, because, hey, you know what? It is secured by massive printing. And so at the end of the day, they do the narrative where, hey, they're trying to stop by bank runs by easing people's fears. Essentially, it is kind of working.
Listen to this. You brought up a good point, and for me, it wasn't necessarily the Fed or Janet Yellen's going to step in. It's how many of their deposits are under the $250,000 threshold level, to where even if it goes under, the FDIC is going to ensure no matter what. They don't need the government to step in. And so, in total, as of March of this year, FDIC insured deposit exceeded 65% of the total deposits for Pacific West. Sorry, for Pac West. So 65% of deposits are going to be, if they do go under for some reason, they'll be insured by the FDIC. The other 35%, though, but like you said, we talked about this banking thing for a while now, right? I'm under the theory that if they're willing to bail out Silicon Valley, and they're willing to take over Signature, and they're willing to bail out these banks, if a massive one like JP Morgan or Bank of America comes out and says, hey, we're having some issues, or their stock starts tanking, I don't think there's going to be an inkling of hesitation for either Janet Yellen or Jerome Powell or anyone to step in and say, hey, look, we got your back. People, don't panic. Because the worst thing that can happen for them is, and we know how fast information spreads nowadays, the worst thing that can happen for them is just, hey, a rumor that JP Morgan Chase is in trouble or Bank of America is in trouble. And if one of those is in the crosshairs of what's going on, then if I'm sitting there, I'm like, damn, if Bank of America is having a problem, my little credit union over here, I better go pull my money out. So it causes a cascading effect. And again, to nobody's surprise, I'm going to pull up the Bitcoin chart here. On news of this happening, Bitcoin saw a little pump. Bitcoin saw a pump from about 27.9 to 28.5. And so we're seeing this happen over and over again. I don't think you can say that this stuff is not correlated. I don't think if you had any doubt in your mind that Bitcoin pumped because banks failed, look at the last three instances, this being the third one. Bitcoin is pumped. Not as hard as it pumped when Silicon Valley went under, right? Or when there was news that it was in trouble. But regardless.
Bitcoin moved up to 28.5. It's been there earlier this week. I'm sorry. I think that this time around here's the thing. If you're going to correlate it to the First Republic, that was yesterday. It didn't even move at all. And nothing went under today. So I'm under the camp that I go back over the week. And so all week we've been pretty much over 28 and we're back at 28 today. It's minute movement. I mean, basically we were under 28,000 for the span of 24 hours in the last 5 or 6 days. And I honestly, I think the banking narrative, as big of a Ponzi scheme as it is I think that what is happening now is subdued. The last small bank that was in the public eye, we had all of the discussion about the First Republic Bank going under right at the same time SVB did. It floated. They stayed afloat for a month, but they haven't thrown any other names in there since then. I know you mentioned the three there, but I don't know, man. I think that the government has made it clear that they'll just print to infinity. And so I don't think that at this moment, people are going to be scrambling to get their cash out. And I just feel like it was the narrative 3 weeks ago. Not that anything fundamentally changed, but I think people have just gotten accustomed to the banks having this failed monetary system or ideology of the fractional reserve. That idea is no bueno, but it's not changing anytime soon. So
I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's ask the chat here. Are you with me in that these banking collapses are correlated to Bitcoin moving up, or are you with Rob that it's not correlated? 1, if it is correlated. 2, if it's not correlated. Also, if you are a member of this channel, feel free to use my emoji or Robin's emoji to cast your vote. Now, Robin, what if I told you that Elizabeth Warren tweeted something that I wholeheartedly agree with? Would that shock you?
Is she resigning?
No, she's not.
Talking about barbecue sauce.
So Elizabeth tweeted this. If bank executives load up on risk and succeed, they get rich. If they load up on risk and fail, they still get rich, even if they tank the whole economy. So let's change those incentives. Let's pass my bipartisan bill to claw back executive pay and bonuses after bank failures. 100% agree. 100% agree. We have companies that are clawing back on retail customers, not just in the crypto space, but in the traditional finance space as well. While these executives and people at the highest level of these companies that are failing, who obviously know it's coming, they cash out all their stock, they take money as bonuses, those should be clawed back. Do you have any issue or do you agree with what Senator Elizabeth Warren says here?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. And
you do agree or you do have
okay. No, I agree. Here's the thing. Like, Elizabeth Warren, she's just misguided on crypto, right? You know, she has, she...
Are you going to defend her,
really,
bro? Please.
No,
I'm not giving her
not.
a vote of confidence here. I'm just saying this one tweet is a good one.
Okay. She does have a personality about her that rubs people the wrong way. But when she came into office, she did have a lot of progressive thoughts when it came to changing the banking sector.
You know, that was like
especially credit
ago, right,
cards
when she came in office.
Yeah, it was. I'm saying, she's lost her way. But no, there was some very important credit card reform. She was behind a lot of the. I remember when you had at one point, it was like 15 years ago, on credit cards, you could have like this really, really small monthly payment that you could never pay off your credit card. And the way it was set up was like, hey, do $20 monthly payment, but the interest always exceeded the monthly payment. And so there were certain politicians, Elizabeth Warren being one of them, they required a certain type of monthly payment that would actually pay off the credit card, and also they required more information from the creditor to the person taking out the loan or credit card, to a little bit more transparency on what these interest rates look like and how long it will take for you to pay it off. And also she had a big part in the 2008 reform as well with the banking crisis. So, I mean, I won't say that she has wasted her time at Capitol Hill, in the history of her tenure, but obviously as she's misguided, I think she's just so misinformed when it comes to crypto, and also highly, she's paid handsomely, I put it this way, to keep a certain narrative. And for that reason, I think she just hates on crypto, and she still tries to fight back against the banking system. Obviously, it's flawed. It doesn't take a genius to figure that out. And so she's speaking out about it.
Sounds like if you were in Massachusetts, you would vote for her. Is that what you're saying?
Hell no, man. Come on, man. Stop.
You know who I would vote for? I would vote for
I'm just
our
saying,
newest.
She's always, I'm just saying that she's always stood against big banks and credit agencies.
Unless
that's
they're
her
paying
thing.
her.
Like, historically. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
You know who I am bullish on? Is my boy B Team. Rocco, will you scroll up a little bit? The B Team Crypto. B Team Crypto has officially joined the Sinner community. It's a new Crypto Sinner member. I like the fact that he or she, I believe it's a gentleman, did not wait for Jimmy to open up Pandora's gift box. He went ahead and did it himself, said, I'm an independent man. I don't need no Jimmy. So thank you so much for your support to all of you. We appreciate it. Now, let's move on to some cryptocurrency. Let's take a look at what the markets are doing. So total market cap for crypto coming in at 1.17 trillion with a T. Look at that volume. Just like dead. $36.4 billion. We saw it get up to the 70 billions last week. So we're at about half of the trading volume. Bitcoin dominance is officially under 47%, barely, 46.9. ETH dominance still holding strong at 19%. Now we have Bitcoin again has rallied 1% over the last 24 hours, 0.25% over the last 1 hour. with this market cap at $550 billion. The crypto fear, the Bitcoin fear and greed index coming in at 55, down from 63 yesterday. The new reading comes out in about 6 hours with Bitcoin pumping and these three bank stocks being halted. People thinking they're going to fail. What is this fear and greed index going to look like in 6 hours? We'll take a look at that. But we do have a video from Forrest talking about Bitcoin on-chain metrics, what we can expect. So let's go ahead and watch this video.
All right, some Bitcoin on-chain analysis for you this morning. Nearly 125 billion worth of Bitcoin are now considered ancient or untouched for at least 7 years, according to top blockchain analytics firm Glassnode. Why is this important? Well, Glassnode says that in all of Bitcoin's history, only 8.3% of all coins that become ancient have ever been spent. So that means roughly a little over 90% of coins that become ancient may be considered lost or no longer liquid. Now, obviously, some of those will be liquid, but if they haven't been spent or moved in over 7 years, the likelihood that they never become spent or they never move or they're never sold becomes quite high. And that reduces the float or the liquid supply of Bitcoin, making it easier for the price to go up when there's demand, right? It increases the scarcity of Bitcoin, makes it more difficult to get. So we do have a chart that they included, but I actually prefer, this is a very similar chart. I just think it shows this a little bit better. It's also from Glassnode. You can see these hodl waves, right? If I hover over this, it's going to show you that purple supply that has not been moved in 10 years or longer, and then 7 to 10 years, right, in blue here. So if you combine everything that's in these two cohorts, these two hodl waves, it's roughly 20% of coins, right? So when you have roughly 20% of coins that have not been moved or spent or sold in 7+ years, and then 90% of those are may be considered lost permanently. That's a large portion of the supply or the liquid supply that has been reduced. Another on-chain statistic is that I really like is this MVRV Z-score. So this is simply the market value versus the realized value. So the market value is simply the price of Bitcoin that you're used to looking at. The realized value is basically the on-chain acquisition cost or the average acquisition price of a Bitcoin holder in general. So it's the last traded price on-chain, right? And that's a little bit easier to visualize if you see this. So this ratio just shows you when the market value is greater than the realized value. You have above a 1-to-0 MVRV ratio. When this dips below this dotted line here, that's usually a Bitcoin bottom. That's indicative of a Bitcoin bottom. That means that the actual market value of Bitcoin is trading at a discount compared to the realized value, right? And that means basically everybody's underwater on Bitcoin. And when everybody's underwater on Bitcoin, or the average Bitcoin holder is underwater, they're far less likely to sell because they'd be selling at a loss. So when you have this MVRV ratio go negative, or in this case, the ratio going below 1, and Bitcoin's trading at a discount, meaning everyone's underwater on Bitcoin, they're less likely to sell. And that usually leads to all the shorter term, panic sellers have been washed out, and what's left over are just the strong hodlers. And you see we're firing out of that recently, and Bitcoin has appreciated quite a bit in terms of price. And then the Z-score chart is just simply normalizing that or Z-scoring that to create these zones of, hey, when you fire out of this green zone, that's usually a bottom signal, or the green zone is usually a bottom signal, and then the red zone is usually close to a top signal. Going into some liquidations or some
real quick, guys. Now this video Forrest created yesterday. Okay, the on-chain metrics haven't changed, but obviously the levels on the chart might have changed. But cool part is we can take a look at what his TA said yesterday and what it looks like today. So let's play.
Technical analysis with our margin pressure levels here to wrap it up on Bitcoin. We do see this key level of 29.3 has once again been a point where we've seen a rejection for Bitcoin. And if we also bring this margin pressure level all the way back to our bear market low, we see where the top came in perfectly at around $31,000. But I'll move it back once again to this most recent swing low, and you'll see we've kind of formed what may be a right shoulder here. If this turns into a head and shoulders, this could still, create this pattern of vertical accumulation. If we can continue to hold above this general trend, maybe we can reclaim 29.3 and move up. Otherwise, the next level to watch are these structural levels around 27 and then 26.1. All right, 24.5, 25.2 right there. There's lots of support down here in the meantime. However, right now we have gotten rejected from this key 29.3K level. Trading plan here for me is very simple. A reclaim of this level would be bullish, and failure to reclaim is probably bearish and would probably be moving down to some of these lower levels. All right, guys, I hope this video was enjoyable. If it was, make sure you subscribe to Sin City Crypto. Peace.
All right. So a lot to unpack there. So what I got is, obviously as Bitcoin as an asset matures, we're going to get the 7-year, 10-year people. We'll eventually have categories for 12-year, 15-year hasn't been touched. It's only going to get more and more. It's only going to get better. And I think this whole banking crisis, what we're seeing is solidifying that, right? Because you hear, you have the Russian news where they're settling trade in crypto. You have the BRICS nation who's creating their own currency backed by commodities. And what's a commodity? Even here in the US, it's Bitcoin. Now, what I was looking at the Bitcoin chart, I saw something similar to what Forrest sees, and we're gonna swap over here to my laptop. So this is Bitcoin on the 1 day. So first let's take a look at the cloud here, okay? So I'm gonna hide this drawing. We're take a look at the cloud. So this cloud, the top of this cloud should act as a pretty strong support level, and that level is coming in at about $27,400. You see, we wicked down at 27.6, and then we came back up. Not really a lot of, you can see the volume is not there. The RSI sitting at about 50, so nothing of importance there. If I take the cloud off, we take a look here. So this is kind of the trend line we've been bouncing off of. This is since the 10th of March, but as Forrest mentioned, shoulder, head, shoulder, okay? And where would the neckline be? Well, the neckline would be right here, okay? This would be the neckline. If we break below, and I'm going to get rid of this line right here. If we break below this neckline, we can expect a move of about, we'll just draw this here. We should expect a move to about $24,000, which if we see back here, this level, I'm going to draw a horizontal line here. We see this kind of level around this area, right? That's where we topped out, and then we broke above, made support on top of, and then we started rallying. And so that's what we can expect to see if we throw on the VRVP, the volume. We take a look. I mean, look, right at this trend line, we're seeing a bunch of volume coming in right here. We also have a ton of volume coming right in around 23,000, and then a bunch more at 22.3. And honestly, in my opinion, and unless something catastrophic in the crypto space happens, I don't think we're going to see Bitcoin under 20K again. I really don't. What do you think, Rocco? Bitcoin under 20K?
I don't foresee that.
No, right?
I don't think so.
Now, of course,
Like
I said, something massive happens or whatever.
I don't know. But what else can happen? I mean,
Binance goes under. Everything gets labeled as secure. But here's the thing: if everything gets labeled as security here in the U.S., we know that they're not going to touch Bitcoin because even Gary Gensler came out and said Bitcoin's a commodity. So I think if that happens, people are just going to move their money into Bitcoin, right? I mean, you would assume.
we've been in this cycle pretty bad. Like compared with other cycle that where we just the economy was down and we were waiting for the halving. In this case, we had a failure of Sam Bankman-Fried, the banks and everything else, and Bitcoin is holding pretty good, I will say, compared with the past year. So, like you say, it has to be something very catastrophic to go down to the 20. I don't see the 20,000.
Someone said World War III. Hear me out here. I think if a war breaks out, I think Bitcoin would actually pump. right?
Even though I think the world that we visualized from 100 years ago is not the one that is going to happen. I think it's already happened. It's more like a technological war. It's not what we imagine, where they're bombing or anything like that. At least not in this country, not here in the United States.
Yeah, that remains to be seen. But I feel like we're starting to see a narrative shift. We've been seeing it. We're going to continue to see this narrative shift. And I think stuff like war or de-dollarization or banks failing, we've seen a microcosm of that, and we've seen what Bitcoin has done. Imagine on a larger scale. Imagine if this BRICS thing takes off. It's gold, silver, precious metals, Bitcoin, interesting. All right. Let's move on to the rest of the crypto markets here. So I got CoinMarketCap pulled up again. ETH coming in at $1,861, up 1.19% over the last 24. BNB $325. XRP sitting at 46 cents. I saw an article, I believe it was about 300 million tokens or dollars is going to be unleashed here or dumped, or I forget what it was, but maybe some volatility to look out for there. Cardano 38 cents. Man, Cardano 38 cents. We've seen rallies from Polygon. We've seen rallies from Ethereum. We've seen rallies from other layer ones. We have not seen a rally yet from Cardano, but they just keep chugging along. They keep building. I've said this multiple times and I'll say it again. Cardano is an extremely long-term hold. If you are not comfortable buying Cardano at 38 cents and holding it for 3 to 5 years to 10, 20x, then Cardano is not the coin for you. They don't care. Charles does not care about token holders as far as if they're making money on the token. He does not care about the value of his token in regards to investors that speculate. All he cares about is that his blockchain is running, his blockchain is working. And, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I think it's a good thing. Obviously, we're over here. If you're just sitting on Cardano, you haven't, you see your friends around you. They made a 100x on Pepe, a 5x on Ethereum, a 5x on Polygon, and you're over here sitting with your Cardano bag like, well, I'm up from 33 cents to 35 cents. So it's a long-term hold. For me personally, I hold Cardano. I know Robin holds Cardano. Not sure if Rocco holds Cardano. Maybe he does. You do hold Cardano. Yeah. Does it frustrate you though that, we're seeing rallies from everything except Cardano? Well, what are your...
No, I mean, Cardano always I hold Cardano since 2 cycles. So, and always I regret not to have buy more. For the simple fact that you buy it and then it doesn't move it and then it explodes. Yeah. And you always regret, say, I should have bought more. And then you wait just like right now, it's one of those times where you say, why does it move? It doesn't do anything, but it's solid. I won't be surprised if you're going to see this go back to $3, $5. And you'll see. A year from now, you'll see.
Ryan Mavor says he hates ADA and XRP. Hey, man, that's okay. Okay, we can agree to disagree.
I really wish there was a less tribalism about the project and the people more focused on. I understand that we like
on the space in general.
Yeah, in the space in general, XRP, Cardano, Bitcoin. It doesn't really make you richer or poorer. I mean, you can like something or don't like it, but I think the goal for everybody is just to, get money and get rich and get out of the system, the bank system, and everything like that. That's my opinion, though. But of course.
I agree with you, man. Like I said, it's a solid project. It's going to take time. And all they care about there at IOG and IOHK is that the network is up, the network is solid, people can build on top of it, and they're onboarding people into the crypto space, and that's what they're doing. So Dogecoin, 7.8 cents, up 1/4 percentage point over the last 24 hours, followed by Polygon and Solana rounding out the top 10. I have become more bullish on Solana lately. I threw some shade at Solana earlier. To be fair, the network was going down. We had Anatoly Yakovenko come out and say, "Oh, we're going to do a testing on the next one." It's like, why weren't you doing that from the beginning? But I feel like they're doing a lot more to move the space forward than people are giving them credit for. It's still fast. Yes, it's a little more centralized, but I don't know, man. Solana is something that, I would buy and hold to make money. Also for NFTs, I know a lot of cool projects have launched on Solana. Mad Lies was the last one. I know Forrest made a ton of money on that one. So Solana, could be one of the best returns on your investment out of a top 10 token, out of a top 20 token. All-time high of $250. You're looking at a 10x from a top 10 token. Can't say that about every single one in the top 10, but it'll be interesting to see. Crypto bubbles. Looky, chocolate chip cookie. Pepe is still in the top 100, up 9.7% over the last 24 hours. Stacks is also up. So is Hex, leading the way in the top 100, up 13.7%. Some of the losers, you have XRD, Render Token, Hedera Hashgraph, and formerly Elrond, now Multiverse X. You see that? Pepe just went from 9 to 12. Pepe straight
Boom.
pumping.
Yeah.
Did you buy any Pepe?
No, I don't have any pepper.
I want to know who's got Pepe in the chat. If you are holding Pepe, put
Just
a 1 in
one.
the chat.
Just one, yeah.
Put a 1. I'm going to put
I think I got late to the party. I don't know.
I'm putting a 1 in the chat because your boy got some Pepe.
I got some pepper.
I got some Pepe. All right. Let's move on from the crypto markets to the crypto news. So we have a thumbnail today was SEC putting a knife in Bitcoin, not a fork. And so we have this. SEC serves $4 million in fines to CoinMe over their misleading up token. It's a source from Cointelegraph. The United States Securities Regulator, the SEC, has handed down nearly $4 million in fines to crypto exchange CoinMe for allegedly offering unregistered securities and giving, quote, misleading statements on its crypto token, UP token, also known as UP, UP. In its order, the SEC alleged CoinMe, Up Global, and Berquist is I believe the CEO or founder, Neil Berquist, that CoinMe, Up Global, and his ICO of the UP token between October and December of 2017 was an investment contract under the Howey test and were subsequently unregistered securities offerings. Same old. The ICO raised around $3.6 million to expand the amount of Bitcoin ATMs in the CoinMe fleet, with which it added 30 ATMs using the ICO funding. Upholders received benefits such as discounted fees and a 1% cashback paid in UP token when using the ATMs. In January 2019, CoinMe changed its offering and partnered with Coinstar to use its cash counting kiosk to facilitate cash to crypto transactions rather than its own ATM. Now, the SEC claimed that CoinMe sent 160 Bitcoin, which was worth over $1 million at the time, to an Up Global wallet used to receive investor funds in the ICO. Up Global then sent back around $14.5 million, and the transaction knowingly or recklessly created the impression that a third party made a large purpose. So this is an intriguing talking point, okay? We know there's some people in the space currently, some big name people, I'm not going to drop any names, that manipulate the markets. They manipulate the buying to make it look like, oh my God, whales buy, or this one wallet bought, when all they're really doing is just transferring from one wallet to another to bring up the hype, to get the Twitter train going. Oh my God, a whale bought $100 million of this token. Oh my God, I should FOMO in. And so it's been happening. The only difference is you take a look at the traditional markets. If insiders are buying or moving funds around, they have to report it. You know, if you're trading on the stock market. In US, Rusty Bot, I can name one, Justin Sun. I didn't say that. But he did cross my mind. I'll leave it at that. So should we see disclosures here? And I know, that would mean that they would have to be regulated, but should we demand as a community, as investors, should we demand those kind of exposures or disclosures? And how can we hold them accountable for that? To that question, I don't have an answer, but I definitely think for the average investor who doesn't understand how to read on-chain transactions, who doesn't have the time to necessarily do that, you see something massive. Oh my God, this person bought $500 million worth of XRP. This whale bought this much. I better get in now before the price starts pumping, and they end up dumping on the market because it was their coins to begin with. That is why it's so important not to just FOMO into everything. You see a tweet, don't FOMO. And I've been there. I have done that, okay? Saw a couple tweets, oh my God, this person bothered, and I went FOMO'd in and I lost my ass, okay? No one's perfect. I've done it before, not recently, but I've done it before, and I'm sure some of you have as well. But guys, let's not just chase. Let's not just fall into this conundrum of, I have to get into the next one at ground level. Oh my God, look how much money this person made on Pepe. Look how much this person made on Cardano. I have to get in. I have to get in quicker. I have to get in sooner. Well, what do I look? And you see one small thing, and you're like, oh my God, I got to go dump $1,000. You end up being the exit liquidity. So just be careful. Don't FOMO into anything. There's tons and tons of projects. And if you have a longer time horizon and you're not just chasing the next 10x in 10 days, you're going to make a lot of money. You're going to make it. Now, speaking of making it, we have some people making life hard for Coinbase. Real quick, before I get into this, I'm going to give some love to the chat.
Yeah, let's do it.
Diamond Sauce said, what is the point of the SEC to F us?
Pretty much.
Crypto, yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Kevin Baker said, 333 Life for Love. Amen to that, man.
Yeah.
We love Lifer. We're definitely thinking about him. Mutant Ape was swapped for Pepe. That's crazy. I saw that. Redman said Mutant Ape was swapped for Pepe.
Wow, that's a bold move.
It's pretty big, man.
Yeah.
Jess said, I'm back. Did you miss me? Of course we missed you, Jessica. Of course we missed you. I think Jimmy
Where
missed
you
you as well.
been?
Where
Yeah.
is Jimmy? Jimmy's been quiet.
No, it's been there watching. It's
He's
watching.
been watching?
Yeah, so it's like a couple eyes. There we go. Look at you.
There we go. There he is.
Right there. It's watching.
Guys, make sure to hit the like button, like this video. It helps YouTube push the video out to new people. We're trying to grow our community here. Also, Kelly Kellum's in the chat. What's up, Kelly? How you guys doing? If you're new here, please say hello. We'd love to personally welcome you. I believe Rob will be joining us again here in a few minutes. He had to step out to get some medicine. But until then, let's go over some other news.
Let's go.
Rocco,
Yes.
cue the left. Coinbase faces a lawsuit over alleged privacy violations in biometrics collection. You know, Rocco, we were both born in Europe, okay?
Yeah.
I was born in Sweden, you were born in Italy, right? I moved here when I was young, but I went back there. And the amount of lawsuits and every little thing that people are trying to sue someone for, I mean, it's ridiculous, dude. It is absolutely ridiculous. That's why insurance is so expensive here. That's why, like, I'm not saying you shouldn't sue companies and hold them liable, but like when I go over the story, you're going to be like, what? Like, what? Just every little thing. People are
a different state of mind. You know, also in Italy, it's very expensive. And it's not like it's not here, it's expensive. But the other problem, it takes forever. It takes forever. So it's, you can.
Talking about in Europe?
Yeah, I mean, in Italy for sure. Everything is behind. You sue somebody, you know, it has to be something major. Otherwise, it's not worth it. It's definitely not worth it. And you don't get the money that you get here. So there is no, you can't compare.
Dude, I'm just like, come on, man. So, okay, listen to this lawsuit. Like, really? Coinbase violated biometric privacy laws in Illinois through its collection and storage of customer fingerprints and facial templates. A proposed class action lawsuit alleges. A May 1 filing in a California district court by a Coinbase user claimed that the exchange's requirement that a customer uploads pictures of a valid ID and a self-portrait in order for the firm to conduct KYC is violating certain provisions.
That's it.
Okay.
Okay.
I swear to God, if the judge does not dismiss this, I am going to blow my lid. We are like, you have these companies that are getting absolutely eviscerated. KYC, you have to KYC, you have to anti-money laundering, and then they do it, and then they get sued. Now, I know chances are, probably going to get thrown out, and I pray to God it gets thrown out. Because if I have to come on the show and show an article about how Coinbase has to pay a fine because of this, I'm going to lose my shit, man. I'm going to literally lose my stuff. Coinbase needed to also provide the purpose of collecting such data. I don't know, to follow regulations and guidelines that they have to do because they're a publicly traded U.S. company, or because that is what regulators want. They want KYC. And how do they officially know it's you? When you go to the bank. When they go to the bank, You have to take 2 forms of ID. You have to take a utility bill. You're there in person. You can't, for a lot of places, you can't open up a bank account online. Okay? Your iPhone, when you register, what's the first thing they ask you to do? They ask you, scan your face. Robin, you're back. Thank you. Thank God you're back, because I was literally about to lose 5 brain cells. Man, are you like, what is this? What does this country come to? We're suing people for trying to protect investors, apparently?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think privacy is out the window in this day and age. Here's the thing:
privacy
we
died
just got
with the Patriot Act in 2001.
No, well, that was they took a big stride there, but I mean, it's just been the ongoing narrative that hey, more and more surveillance. But here's the thing: with the evolution of technology, is where we're seeing more and more privacy issues. Remember, if the government wanted to spy on you or know where you're spending your money, in the past they had to actually go and follow you, you know. And you know, we always heard those stories of the guy in the trench coat, you know, in the taxi. And now they don't need to do that anymore. And so it's a lot easier to trace people, track people, see what they're doing, and follow their every move with growing technology. And cryptocurrency is the next level, or blockchain and CBDCs is the digital money is just, it's a lot more transparent. And you know, for us in blockchain space, it's benefit because we're auditing all the transactions ourselves, so that's good. But then you know, where there's a new technology, there's always somebody that's going to take advantage of it and use it for power. And what we're seeing is governments are using all of this technology. Remember, before the internet, how much surveillance did they really have? They had to tap your phones. And the thing is that nothing has been put in place essentially to prevent the government from having more and more power with these new technologies. Next up is AI. What is AI going to look like in 5 years? And you best believe the government's going to be using AI to monitor its citizens. We already see it happening in China. The face recognition, they know where you're going. And also they have a social credit score. You know, hey, if you're not a happy citizen and play along with the Chinese ideology and you push back at all, hey, you could just disappear. And that's the direction we're going. And it doesn't seem to be slowing down at all. There's been some people have raised concerns when it comes to the CBDCs, but that's still coming. And I don't know what that's going to look like in the future either.
Yeah, I see someone said, wait till CBDCs for all types of privacy confiscation, said Leroy. And I agree, Leroy. That's why I'm so against it. All right. You mentioned AI, Rob. Well, there's talks and there's been talks. AI is taking everyone's jobs and this and that. And to those of you that said no, well, I have an answer for you, and it's yes. 7,800 jobs at IBM could be replaced by AI within years, to suggest the CEO. Source from Cointelegraph, International Business Machines, that's IBM, that's what it stands for, is expecting to put a pause on hiring for back office roles that could be potentially automated by AI. Many back office positions, such as those in human resources and accounting departments, will likely to be the first to be automated by AI. The IBM boss said, quote, I could easily see 30% of that getting replaced by AI and automation over a 5-year period. Now, IBM employs over 250,000 employees globally, and around 7,800 jobs could be handed over to artificial intelligence. According to some reports, AI-based automation has already helped IBM save well over $1 billion. You wanna get a company to act fast? Put more money in their pocket. Put more money to their bottom line. $1 billion has already helped. AI has already helped IBM with $1 billion, saving them. And then we have this. Well, let me make sure there's nothing else highlighted here. Then we have this. The godfather of AI resigns from Google, warns of the dangers of AI, which, by the way, if you didn't know, godfather of Sin City Crypto is Rocco. An AI pioneer, nicknamed the Godfather of AI, has resigned from his position at big tech firm Google so he could speak more openly about the potential dangers of the technology. His name is Dr. Jeffrey Hinton, worked at Google on machine learning for more than a decade. His most immediate concern with AI was its use in flooding the internet with fake photos, videos, and text to the extent that many won't be able to know what is true anymore. And that 100% agree. When I go through to find content for the show and it's a video, I have to be extremely careful. I have to watch it back a few times. I have to do extra research to make sure this is not a deep fake or it's not some AI generated whatever. His other worries concerned AI tech taking over jobs, which is what the previous article talked about. In the future, he believes AI could pose a threat to humanity due to its learning unexpected behaviors from the massive amounts of data that it analyzes. He also expressed concerns at the continuing AI arms race that seeks to further develop the tech for use of lethal autonomous weapon systems known as laws. On May 1st, and here's an example, and CZ tweeted this, CZ and Binance tweeted this. Binance claimed it was a victim of a ChatGPT originated smear campaign and shared evidence of the chatbot claiming CZ was a member of its Chinese Communist Party youth organization. Now, Robin, let me get your general thoughts on everything you heard here, and then I'll ask you some pointed questions.
All right. Yeah. So, there's two spectrums here when it comes to AI replacing individuals. Well, there's the obvious, when you think of Microsoft replacing people, first thing you think about is like customer service. That's like the no-brainer, right? Instead of having to talk to a chat bot, which essentially is absolutely useless. It has scripted answers. You're talking to an AI program, which is all more efficient than the guy that picks up the phone that has an accent that's overseas that sends you through the same 5 troubleshooting techniques that you've probably already done. I swear if I call the cable company and they tell me to unplug my router and then plug it back in, I'm like, I did that already. And then, dude, I'm like, I already did it. And then on top of that, it's funny because the last time that actually happened, they were like, well, they asked me about the router, and I'm like, I reset the router, and then she was like, okay, all right, well, I'm gonna send a reset notice, or I'm gonna push a reset to your router. So she ignored me, and then reset my router with her computer, and then I was just like,
what was that? What was the accent she used, though? I'm curious.
No, I don't know. Somewhere out in
if I make a point,
anyways,
if I make a point to what you say about customer service, because something happened actually yesterday with my store, that's the bots, they're useless. And now let's imagine you have a very advanced AI. I think if you really want to talk with a person, I will pay extra as a norm, whatever it is, to have a live person where I can have a conversation. Even though we are not there yet with AI, maybe in the future you will even be able to recognize it if you talk with somebody or not. But probably get rid of those glitches. You say something, give you an automatic answer that you don't want it. But I would probably, at this point, I would pay extra to talk with somebody.
AI, in my opinion, AI in my use cases when it comes to troubleshooting has been more efficient than talking to a person. With the streaming software that we use here for the show, it is pretty complex. I can just take a PDF file of the instruction manual and just put it in ChatGPT, and then I can just ask it questions, and it gives me responses instantaneously. And not perfect, but I can see where it's going, and it can lead me in the right direction. The chatbots right now seem to be a pretty good assistant, and so if you just need some help pulling up a code, or you forgot X, Y, and Z, and it's just like in a book somewhere, instead of having to flip through it, you can just ask chatbot to just find it for you, and boom, it pulls it up. But what is more pressing though what I think IBM is probably alluding to with replacement of jobs is what machine learning is doing, and the fact that it can compute millions and billions and trillions of transactions over a short period of time. And instead of sitting in the lab and having someone go through a tedious trial and error style of way, you can automate this with machine learning and then input, your desired outcome, and then just go through trial and error of trying many, many different ways of operating a business. And
don't you think, though, Rob?
Sector,
don't you think it would be important to still have at least a few human beings that are overseeing and make sure nothing goes rogue? I mean, look at airplanes, right?
Yeah, you're always going to have a few you're always going to have a few human beings. But your airplane example is perfect. Would I want the engine to be hand built? No. Like, build it, like, have a robot build all the parts, put it together, and then just have a human go by and just double check and make sure it's all put together.
Yeah, you also have what is that? What is the autopilot? You have autopilot that pretty much does 95% of the flying, but you still have two pilots there, right? There's still two pilots.
Yeah. IBM is still going to have people in the building. That's why they said they're laying off. Was it 30% or 70%, whatever it is?
That's a lot of people, man. That's 8,000 people.
Well, just like an airplane, you don't need 50 people running the airplane. You need 2. And in IBM, instead of having 40,000 people, you're probably going to have 10,000. This is the direction we're going. You also got to remember, for every job that is eliminated in the more of industrial sector, you're also creating jobs in more of the technology sector. And so somebody has to build these programs, somebody has to build the machines, somebody has to build the infrastructure. And so you're getting away from these mundane jobs. I mean, you can look at the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory one is a good example, where the dad was
hold on real quick, Rob.
Tops on the toothpaste.
Which version you like better? The one with Gene, what was his name? Gene something, the older one, or the one with
new one?
Johnny Depp?
I haven't seen the new one. No, I haven't.
You haven't seen the Johnny Depp one?
No.
Okay. Anyways, continue.
I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I mean, it's a good movie, but it's not. I think it's definitely overblown. I think it has more than nostalgia. It's like,
you're a hater, bro. That is a classic. That is an American classic. Gene Wilder, thank you. That is an American classic.
Here's the thing. Like, it makes you feel good until you sit down to go watch it, and then you're like, next thing you know, you're over here texting on your phone, not even paying attention. It's the same with, like, people are like, oh, Super Mario is the best game ever, man. The first Zelda is the best one ever. And then, like, I'm not saying that you can't get some replay value playing it, but let's be real. You're not going to play these old ass video games. Because what ends up happening is you buy like an old Nintendo, and this happens all the time. People go to a pawn shop, they buy an old Nintendo or old Super Nintendo or whatever it is, and they're like, yeah. And then what ends up happening? Where does that Nintendo sit? It sits in a drawer in a closet, and nobody ever plays it after they get through the one nostalgia, because realistically, it pales in comparison to new technology and new video games. And, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is the same thing, man. Nobody actually want to sit through and watch that dumbass movie.
Bro, in my hero said, I think his role in that movie is why Amber Heard did that to his pillow. You guys are wild, man. Oh, man. So I put a question in the chat. What do you guys prefer? Let us know. All right, let me ask you a serious question, though. The whole thing, and I'm going to go back to this. May 1st, Binance claimed there was a victim of a smear campaign. Now, does this worry you? Let's say you have a deep fake of Elon Musk or someone important coming out, and they say something, and they trick people into investing or something, and they get. how far do you think this thing can go? And is there anything that you do or you'd recommend people to do?
These are not convincing right now. Now, it is going to be a problem. And I know you prefaced earlier, you got to do all kinds of research, make sure it's not a fake video. How many fake videos have you come across? I mean, be honest.
A few.
Go ahead.
No,
Stop.
I really have, dude.
Yeah, so
honestly.
you've been tricked. You've literally been tricked.
I knew they were fake, though.
There you go. You knew they were fake. So
But that's not going to last. AI is only going to get better. You're not going to have 17 knuckles on the hand and be like, oh, that's not real.
I get it. But the photo ones are tricky. But the video, they're not quite there yet. I think they're still probably 3 years away on the video.
Okay, 3 years. In 3 years, what are we supposed to do? Like, there's going to be people who get wrecked.
Yeah, I don't
Imagine
know. I think well, here's the thing. On one end, you're going to have innovation to create these programs. On another end, you're going to have companies, because obviously you're going to want to defend yourself, right? And so the same way you don't want your identity stolen on the internet, now all of a sudden an internet-based credit fraud agency now is available, right? So back in the 70s, you would never have a credit fraud agency, at least as big as it is now, because technology has opened up new vulnerabilities. And what we're seeing now with the AI is that there's going to be new markets that are coming up to fight back against it, and you're gonna have to pay for those services. Like, hey, man, or you're gonna have a little app on your phone where you can scan the video and see if it's a deep fake or not.
Some sort of digital watermark.
Because people are gonna pay for that. You think the universities are just gonna fold up and just give in to chatbots? The universities are already coming out looking for ways to identify chat GPT like research papers and homework. As we know that everyone's always looking for a shortcut. And the universities are like, okay, they'll pay for services if they can spot those out. And there's going to be people paying for the video services. So I think the industry will have its own checks and balances. But there are going to be people that are going to be duped, as we know. You have people pretending to be, the IRS on the phone, and they're calling the elderly people. And they're pretending to be the bank and saying that their accounts have been frozen. We got no shortage of emails that would hit our mailbox that claiming that
you've had fake videos of people getting called from their loved ones saying, "Hey, I need $5,000," and then they send them money because they think it's their mom or their cousin or their brother or sister. So
those are the voice ones. The video is not there yet.
I did
the Joe Rogan one. The Joe Rogan one is the closest. The Joe Rogan spoof, but
there is a video. I did a video a few days ago where you actually scan yourself. Okay, now that's willing to do it, and then you can put a script and make it say whatever you want. It's a little glitchy, it's just open source, but I guess in the future, you can get scanned and you don't even know, and they can look very real. So that's how they're going to get your image out. But if you want to do your own video, like your avatar, you're going to look just like it and make it talk, even a different language too, if you want it. So
all I'm saying, guys, is
if you've been on camera, that's where you're going to be an issue. Because these AI models,
those are the people who have the most influence,
views and perspective. Yeah. So the people that have multiple, because you got to think these videos and these AI models run off of data. Mm-hmm. So the more data that you have, the more accurate it's going to be. Yep. And so how much data is out there on GamGam? On her videos she uploads on Facebook.
You leave GamGam out of this?
Compared to what you have for celebrities, because the celebrities are photoed and videoed in every direction and every way possible. So,
yeah. Well, what I'm worried about though is, like I mentioned with the bank segment we talked about earlier in the show, is information flows extremely fast and people react much faster to the information they receive. So, the last thing we need is for, let's say, CZ's Twitter account to get hacked and a fake video posting about, hey, I've been, I don't know, here's an example. Hey, I'm shutting Binance down. I'm taking all of the money, or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And people start freaking out. They start pulling money from Coinbase and this, and then that goes under. And then Binance goes under. And so it's just, it's scary. And it's something I worry about. That is why we have to be extremely diligent, is when you see something or read something or see a video, like, analyze it. Is it real? Is it fake? Is it mouth on? Zoom into the picture, look at the hands, look at the bodies. Anything look weird? And if it sounds weird or it's like there's no way, try to corroborate by reaching out to other people or finding more information online. So that is something. And the last thing we need is one of these large media outlets to be tricked and pick up the story, and then it's game over.
Well, it depends on the source. So if the source is a big source, you're convinced that it's a real news.
So I'm saying, what if the Wall Street Journal, someone is duped there, and they, and they post an article or something? I don't know.
I mean, that job it will be to make sure that news is real.
Bro, we've seen these mainstream media companies and publications print BS reports and then come back and say, oh, apologies or whatever. And if it's something massive, you got to think, if it's something huge that's going to grab everyone's attention, right? These media outlets, they want to be the first. They want to be first to the punch. So they see a video like, oh my God, this guy said this, Elon Musk is doing this. And they're in such a hurry to get the story out there to be the first one to publish it. They might overlook something. And it just, I'm telling you, man, no bueno. No bueno. We need something. We need someone to create something where it identifies if it's AI generated or not. I don't know. That's out of my wheelhouse though. But speaking of,
I got some videos, bro. Man, check this thing out, bro. Hold on a second. Look at this. So I don't know if you guys.
Yeah, we can.
Can you hear this, by the way?
We cannot hear it.
Okay, no worries. So you can kind of see here.
Yeah, so pretty much.
Oh, wow. Okay, George Bush's looks fake. Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like,
but
yeah,
if it's this good, this early, bro, imagine, like you said, 3 years from now, 2 years from now, a year from now. Just got to be careful, man. We got to be extremely careful. And, and I'm speaking to all of us here at Sin City Crypto too, because we push information out to people. We got to be even more careful of what we put on our show, what we talk about, and so to our best ability, we will make sure we do that for you guys. Now, let's move on. Just, we have some more
hold on real quick. The Robert C in the chat says, which is actually pretty interesting. Blockchain solves this. Decentralized network solves where the application can be sealed and referenced for signature proof. You could even have, if you have like a well, here's the thing. If you think about it, if you have a decentralized identity, like we're seeing these being built out right now, where you have your personal ID stored on a website, or excuse me, on a blockchain, kind of like Cardano is doing with some of the African countries. We're also seeing this in South Korea with driver's license. And if you can use your ID that's on the blockchain to verify that is you, let's just say, like, when you go to log in, you just say verify with Cardano or something, or whatever dApp that is built on there, and then they just say, hey, yes, that is him. Maybe it does a face scan or something. I don't know. That's something interesting to think about.
That is interesting. Robert, that's a great point, my friend. 1 point to Robert. +1, Robert. All right. Robin, do you remember when Microstrategy and Michael Saylor said that we're never selling our Bitcoin? Microstrategy now says it could sell its Bitcoin to pay long-term debt obligations. This is from Crypto Slate, also known as Crypto Slate. Microstrategy hinted that it could sell some of its Bitcoin holdings to fund its long-term debt obligations in the aggregate of $2.2 billion, whose principal is due by 2025. The business intelligence platform says it does not expect the cash and equivalents generated by their company to be sufficient to satisfy these debt obligations. The firm said it would explore different options, which include borrowing against their Bitcoin, which they've kind of already done, but that was to buy more Bitcoin, or the outright sale of some of their holdings. In December, MicroStrategy sold some of its Bitcoin for the first time. At the time, the company said it sold to generate tax benefits. And then during the first quarter of this year, it purchased 7,500 Bitcoin. Now, Robin, you scared, bro? MicroStrategy selling their Bitcoin? What's going on?
Okay. MicroStrategy, they are all in on Bitcoin. They have that HODL and DCA, just as their business model. But they are very similar to a lot of people in our space that got into crypto around the same time he did. Remember, his average buy price is at 29,000, so he's almost at break even. And so, what would you do if you bought Bitcoin at 29,000? Would you be interested in selling it at 16?
Hell no.
Would you be interested in selling it at 23?
Hell no.
30,000, 32?
Nope.
Exactly. And so I think a lot of us are kind of in that same boat. It's easy to say, oh, well, we would never sell our Bitcoin when you're underwater the whole time. There was the run up, but during the
But he
run
said
up
no
of
matter
the bull
what,
market,
they wouldn't sell their Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In the same way that somebody buying Bitcoin at 29,000 is going to say the same thing when it's around the same price. Now, here's my question: if you would have bought Bitcoin when it was $100 and now it's 30,000, you need some money. Are you going to sell your Bitcoin?
Yeah.
At least, a fraction of it, 5%.
Going broke, bro. Selling my car.
Okay, so you got no car. You're catching the bus to the studio. You're not gonna sell some Bitcoin to buy a car.
You gonna come pick me up?
Just stop. I mean, really, you would take profits, right?
I know. I'm joking.
You would draw on capital if you need it, and at the same time, if you're a savvy investor and you're not investing money you can't afford to lose. If you bought Bitcoin at 29,000, just like Michael Saylor did, you have no interest in selling it right now. And so the narrative to say, "Oh, we're going to do nothing but HODL" is a no-brainer. But my question is, or not even question, my thesis here is, if you think Bitcoin is going to get to $500,000, $200,000, $1 million, you throw a price out there. Who cares? If you think it's going to reach some crazy price targets, and Michael Saylor is sitting on 5% of the Bitcoin, you don't think that if he needs some capital, he's not going to skim a little profits? Like, he will. 100% he will. And especially when his entry point or his majority of his buys come under 30K. It's going to be, just normal business practices. Now, do I think he'll exit his position, sell out, and dump all his Bitcoin? No. But if you think that he's just going to hodl and never move one Bitcoin to an exchange and sell it for no reason ever, no, not at all.
Bro, when Bitcoin gets to 250K, if MicroStrategy still has 140,000 Bitcoin, $35 billion. Damn, it's a lot of money. Now, speaking of a lot of money, Coinbase is looking to make a lot of money by going overseas. And their international exchange officially today opened their doors to perpetual futures. Coinbase, a major cryptocurrency exchange, is launching the Coinbase International Exchange, a platform aimed at institutional clients based outside the United States. One of the key features of the international exchange is the trading of perpetual futures, aka leverage trading, counted for nearly 3/4 of global trading volume in 2022. So futures trading, aka leverage trading, accounted for nearly 75% of global crypto trading in 2022. They're offering a mere 5x leverage initially on their exchange. Although Coinbase continues to operate in the US, its launch of the international exchange underscores its focus on global markets. Robin, if Coinbase starts raking in the dough on their international ventures, do you see any scenario to where they're like, look, it's just not worth it. Let's just shut US down. We're making way more money. We don't have to go through the headache of lawsuits and going to court with the SEC. Do you see a scenario like that playing out, or you think the market is just too big in the US?
I am literally, as we're speaking, and shame on me for not knowing, but I am looking to see if we have a VPN link in our description because I want to use. Well, we need to get one because
right away, sir. No, seriously, we are going to get
man.
one.
Like
yeah,
I am going to be leverage trading on Coinbase, 100%.
Why don't you do it on?
Where else
Big
would
Get?
you? I'm not saying that.
You're saying the trust
I
factor with
wouldn't use
Coinbase.
other ones. I'm not saying I wouldn't use other ones, but I use Coinbase to on and off ramp my crypto. I mean my fiat, right? And that's where I choose. From there, I take Ethereum or whatever token, and then I transfer it out and to go play in DeFi space. But hey, man, if I can do the same and not go and leverage trade on some other exchanges, and not to mention, man, these leverage trading exchanges, sometimes the books are played in their favor. You ever seen those scam wicks on some of these exchanges?
Yep.
FTX was known for it. FTX was known for these massive liquidations. We're like, why the hell is there $60 billion in liquidation in FTX? And the next closest one is 5,000 or 5 million on Binance.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'd rather use my more trusted platform. And I think Coinbase, at least through my personal experiences and from transparency as far as their history, I'd feel more comfortable using Coinbase as my derivatives platform than other options. Now,
I agree.
What will they have all the listings there? Can you leverage trade everything? I don't know. I mean, I don't see why not if that's not operating in the US, sure.
But right now it's only for institutions, okay? That might change. But I get what you're saying. Coinbase has created a brand, at least here in the US, of running the business the right way, right? And so,
as an LLC, Sin City Crypto here. Are we an institution? Are we an institution? Can we sign up?
That's a good point. Rocco.
Yeah,
I don't know
we're
why
an
I said your
institution.
name. I
We're
don't
teaching people.
All right. So Flatsmax or Sailing to Crypto said Proton is my favorite. I also use Proton. I haven't really used any other one, so I can't compare. But yeah, we're definitely going to get a VPN link here soon. All right. Now, one exchange that is not afraid of US regulation is an Australian one, an OG Australian exchange, one of the first to launch in Australia. They're kicking off their US expansion despite regulatory risks and uncertainty. The name of it is CoinJar. They're seeking to put its boots on the ground in the United States with the CEO seemingly unfazed by the market's regulatory risk. He said, quote, where other exchanges see regulatory risk, we see tons of lawsuits. I mean, we see opportunity. We've always understood that regulation has a key role to play in crypto's future, and we believe the American market will reward an exchange with our unparalleled compliance bona fides. Now, here's a guess. Now, Robin, their very first hire, okay? Guess what role that very first hire was?
I don't know. What was it?
Compliance. They hired one person for the U.S. operations and that single open role for anti-money laundering, which is KYC. So, I don't know, man. What are you like? Okay, so here's another thing here that I'm going to read. This is also from CoinJar. Licensing is done at a state level in the U.S., so we'll be gradually adding states until we can get close to full coverage. While adding not every company is able or willing to satisfy this criteria, CoinJar believes we're well suited to take on this challenge. By this challenge, they mean the U.S. regulatory system. Now, good move, dumb move. If you were an exchange, if you were the founder or CEO of an offshore exchange, do you see the U.S. markets as
biggest market globally? U.S. I'm not exactly sure if they're the biggest in crypto, but they're in the top 3 if they're not. And we're seeing exchanges leave to go abroad. So if you feel confident that you can set up shop in the U.S. and avoid the SEC, why not? I mean,
Avoid the SEC.
even on the okay, let's just say, like, just hypothetically speaking, even if you just set up a shop here and you just offered Bitcoin and Ethereum, I know they would offer more than that, but let's just say hypothetically speaking, you'd probably bring a lot more money to your institution, or to your company. I mean, how much Bitcoin and Ethereum is traded just in the States compared to all the crypto that's traded in Australia? I'm sure it's got to be comparable-ish. And if Coinbase were to shut the doors here in the States, which I don't think is gonna happen, but it's certainly a possibility. If Coinbase were to shutter, then I mean, it leaves the door open, or a big ass market for someone to come in and take advantage of it. And man, I don't know. I mean,
So you think it's a good move? You would do the same? You would move into a jurisdiction.
Know, man. I don't know what their company business model looks like. I don't know. I'm just saying that there is tons of capital in the States. I mean, we have our business here in the U.S. I mean, there's businesses thrive here, and we're the leader in the financial markets. We're the clear leader. If you go by GDP, sure, we're close. China's closer to us, but when it comes to the financial markets and investing, the U.S. is by far the leader in global derivatives, trading, commodities, everything,
liquidity,
banking. Yeah, and so if you can capitalize on the U.S. market, because there's just been an exodus of competition, and you can tiptoe your way around the SEC, then why not?
Gucci?
Let's see.
Are we Salvatore Ferragamo?
Let's see.
Guys, if you can see or hear me, put a one in the chat. Here's.
We're back with internet, but I don't see the stream.
We back. Guys, are we back? Am I back? If you can see and hear me, please let me know in the chat. I'm looking at you guys right now. All good. Beautiful. We're good. All right. Guys, what I was saying before Gary Gensler rugged us is this. I have said this multiple times, that the U.S. market is way too large. There is way too much money to be made. That is how, guys, that is how businesses are born. That is how opportunity is born. That is how money is created, right? You identify a void, you identify a service people need, right? especially when it's in the largest markets in the world, when it's void of people servicing those needs. Now, like what Robin mentioned, if there's like one or two crypto exchanges in the US and they're all being attacked and sued and and they're under, people don't trust them, whatever the case may be, and you can come in here, you're like, look, we know for sure Bitcoin and ETH are good. We know if we don't, like, you're going to get people to do that. And then eventually, as the regulatory landscape gets better, naturally, it'll all get better. But the difference will be if you take that risk like this Australian company's doing, CoinJar, you're rooted there already. You're there. You're ready. You got everything good to go. We got Rob back, right?
Yeah.
What's up, Rob?
Hola.
Hola. You know, speaking of holas, man, let's give some love to the chat. No, you're not feeling good, but we need a couple of holas here, bro.
All right, so some of the new people, we got Tony C, Traveler of Two Worlds, also Hold the Line, Juan Luis Salamonte, he's been here before, Trader JX, and my hero, God is Love, 528, to all of you. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
You know, there is a... you have anything to add to this CoinJar story before I move on to another exchange?
No, man, no. Good.
Okay. Now, an exchange called Poloniex. Created and ran by none other than the man himself, His Excellency Justin Sun. They are settling with U.S. authorities, paying $7.6 million for violation of sanctions. Poloniex Exchange has come under scrutiny for violating multiple sanctions programs and has reached a settlement with the United States Treasury Department of Foreign Asset Control, also known as OFAC. They're after us again. The apparent violation of multiple sanctions could be traced back to January of 2014. I want to know, isn't there something called statute of limitations? I don't know. I'm just saying. Recent reports from the Department of Treasury state that Poloniex is settling over 65,000 apparent violations of multiple sanctions programs. And they are required to pay $7.5 million. At the time of its trading launch in 2014, this is why they're being sued, or why they're settling. At the time of its trading platform launch, which was in 2014, it was reported that Poloniex had no KYC process or sanctions compliance for its users. But this changed in May of 2015, about 16 months later, when the exchange established a sanctions compliance program and KYC to verify supported users. However, OFAC had already determined that Poloniex violated the U.S. multiple sanction program when it failed to exercise due diligence at inception and operated without the program on its platform for 16 months. So the exchange starts. They don't have KYC for 16 months, and then they have KYC in these programs, and now they're going back 9 years later and saying, nope, not quick enough. Should have had it from the beginning. 7.5. Robin, thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know, man. The thing is so full of fraud, right? Justin Sun, it's just... I don't know. Do you use Tron at all?
Hell no. No, I don't use Tron.
No. It is pretty cheap to send internationally.
But Robin, if it wasn't Justin Sun and it was someone else, would it change anything? Like, is it because it's Justin Sun and all he's been accused of and his track record that this is happening? This was 9 years ago. They opened their exchange, no KYC, which in turn means no sanction program, whatever. And then 16 months later, like, all right, here you go, fine. And they've been operating that way ever since. Now they're going back 9 years and suing them.
It's just the U.S. being bullies, bro. That's what we do. And it is, man.
It's not like they are set rules anyway, so.
Yeah.
There is clarity in the market.
No.
Here's the thing, like, if you're operating, let's just say you live in, let's just say here in the States. Let's say that China is sanctioning some people in Australia, and we have a company in the States, and somebody in Australia decides to move money to China on our platform in the States, and like, is it of your utmost priority to make sure that all of that is compliant? We're in the crypto space as well, so we're like, you know what, like, whatever. Like, we did our KYC. There's their info. There they are. This is crypto. We're sending money around. That's what we do. Yeah, so that's all I got.
Also, because $8 million is nothing compared for how much they made it. So
yeah, seven million.
Seven and a half,
that's nothing.
And they earned that in one day off liquidations.
That's it.
It's nothing, guys. Don't worry. The Donna said it's okay. And then we have this from Justin Sun as well. He issued an apology after the Sui launch pool clashes with Binance CEO CZ Changpeng Zhao. Now, Binance CEO CZ issued a warning to Justin Sun regarding a deposit of 56 million TUSD stablecoin to Binance. Our team told Justin if he uses any of these to grab the launch pool Sui token, we'll take action against it. Shaking my head. Binance launch pool are meant as airdrops for our retail users, not just a few whales. In response, Justin Sun said Tron DAO's primary objective in depositing this USD is, quote, to facilitate market making between leading TUSD exchanges. Nevertheless, Justin said some team members inadvertently used a portion of them to participate in the exchange's campaigns and said they're sincerely sorry for the oversight. Was it Robin? Look at this face. Does this look like a man who would lie? Yes, it is.
Yeah,
yes.
It does.
Oh, Larry, what's up, Larry? How you doing, Larry?
Larry in the house.
Larry the bud. Man, that fool just like. Anyways,
he's over here chilling.
I mean, like, are you applauding Binance and CZ
so that is real sketch, right? Dude is playing whale games, moving money around so he can get airdrops. That's kind of. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, man. I'm under the weather, so I don't have much input on a lot of this stuff,
you're
man.
Good, man.
So,
thanks for
yeah,
toughening up and joining us. You know, I applaud CZ. I applaud him for stepping up and making it public and saying, Justin Sun, what the hell are you doing, man? Geronimo said Justin Sun looks like a Chinese version of Big Rob. He could have done. Except Rob's not a. Never mind. So I applaud CZ. I applaud Binance. And I think it's good. You hold these people accountable publicly. The good dude comes out and says, oh, no, it was oversight. It was not an oversight. It was not an accident. You knew exactly what the hell you were doing. So, yeah, that's all I got. Guys, we're done. We're heading now. Rob, you have anything to leave us with before we let you go? Not sure what the hell you're going to do, but yeah.
Yeah, no. Well, I want to say thank you to all the viewers for watching and hanging out. I'll be back at studio here as soon as I get better. But
don't be bringing that sickness up in here.
Hang out with the bird.
Don't you bring it up in here. Now, guys, before we sign off, we want to give another quick shout out to channel sponsor Cam's Blue Wire Tech. Of course, a lot of you know it's Jimmy from the chat, his beautiful company, decided to sponsor us. If you want more information on what they do and how they can help your business, go to bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. With that being said, guys, make sure to check out all of our social medias. If you want to support the channel, there's tons of ways you can do that. Just use the links in the description of this video. And with that being said, Rocco. That was a weird tornado. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. We hope Rob feels better. Maybe we'll get Larry instead of Rob tomorrow. Either way, on behalf of all four of us, that includes Larry, we love you guys. We will see you tomorrow, same place, same time. Until then.